All right, here we go. Happy Thanksgiving to everybody. Hopefully y'all had a good break from work, things of that nature. How I'm celebrating, just not leaving Top Golf. Good to get the blood flowing a bit. Heading back now to side of town. Still waiting on the next version there for HW3 vehicles. I'm still on 12.5.4.2. Overall, so good for all the testing I've been doing. There's been some things here and there, but I think it's been things that have been prevalent across multiple builds. Nothing new. This is new. Stopped trying to make a turn. See how we do on this turn. That was good. So little hesitancy seeing that other vehicle off that turn. I'm wondering if it had to do with the sun as to why it kind of stalled out there. It figured itself out, but that wasn't ideal. That wasn't something that you want to happen, especially if somebody's behind you. That'd be a situation naturally you would need to take over. I let it figure itself out because there was nobody behind me. It's more so of a back road, not a main road, so get a little bit more leash, if you want to call it. Because I'm always curious, okay, hey, you get stuck, now what? What are you gonna do, right? Yeah, I can take over, that's the easiest way, but what happens if you get stuck? What's gonna be your first instinct to get out? So eventually figured itself out. Today's a pretty good day to test too. We're coming off of a holiday yesterday, so shouldn't be as much traffic. There'll probably still be a decent amount over here. There's just a popular area, but shouldn't be as much. So right now the speed limit's 45. We're going about 48, 49, coming downhill a bit. Still, in comparison to the flow of traffic, they're up a little bit further. We're still, in a good space though. 5 above the speed limit, I'm not mad at it all either way. I have noticed with this build that it tends to be more cautious with the speeds, especially when it comes to moving with the flow of traffic, and has its positives and negatives. I would like to see it blend better with the flow of traffic, which I did notice on a previous build or two that it did do a better job at going with the flow of traffic. So again, we're coming through an intersection. Speed limit is still 45. We're at 46. It's been worse where, you know, I've seen us at 40 and the speed limit's 45 and people are just passing. So it's not as bad. It's still going a little bit above. Now I know in the next build, and there's some other ways to select the threshold. Right now I still have mine set on auto max. That's what's still available for this version build. I think I've seen as much as 7 miles. Well, no, I'll take that back. As much as 10 miles an hour past the listed speed limit. So it can get up there when it needs to, but it could be more consistent. That would be great. So right now we're on a 55. We're going 52. This would be one of those scenarios where, you know, I would give it a little nudge at the acceleration to keep it up with the flow of traffic. Because again, now we're at 55. We're at 55 for the speed limit. We're going 52 right now. It's like, I'd like to see a little bit quicker. I think 55 to 60 for me is how I would naturally drive. So, but again, there's really no rush. That's why I'm letting it do its thing. I think if we hit any more patches where it's drastically under the speed limit or under compared to the flow of traffic, then I'll give it a nudge to kind of speed it up. Stoplight. By the way, I do have sunglasses on currently. Typically I do wear sunglasses, so so far so good with it recognizing that I have sunglasses on and allowing me to supervise without having to nudge the steering wheel. That's been the game changer. I mean, I've had a Tesla since 2020. So we had a Model Y, 2020 Model Y when they first came out. And we did utilize FSD for a little bit on the subscription. Subscription at that time was like $200 a month, which is, oof, that hurts. It's a lot better now. What, 99 I believe now. The reason I bring that up, for this X, we bought this X with FSD, so we're definitely thankful for that. There was a blessing there with that. But again, with the Y, it had the interior camera, but they weren't utilizing that. So you know, every so often, I would say every 15-30 seconds you'd get a nudge to make sure that you're paying attention. And that just, like, it's cool, it makes sense, but it is annoying at times. You, like, you know, for full self-driving, even at a supervised level, you'd want to see minimal intervention or you know, anything that you would have to touch the steering wheel for. So now that the interior cabin camera is being utilized, and I mean, I've done some long trips with no intervention from the system to nudge the steering wheel, and it's just night and day compared to a few years ago. Okay, so coming up on a little traffic patch. Overall, this drive is pretty straight, so I don't expect to see too much action, but at the same time, I typically don't drive at this time of day. This isn't a route I usually take, so it's always good to see how things are being handled. Again, just, you know, it's starting as small as a few cities, just to go around and see every so often, how does it handle this situation, right? And there's some certain patches that it consistently fails, and I'm not really mad at it. A good amount of them are confusing, even if a computer wasn't driving, if I was driving for the first or second time, so I don't fault it. It's just there's definitely room for improvement. It's hardware 3, so it's not, I don't think it's close for a mass rollout. I think, they need more data, they need more folks to test. I'm willing to do so. I think the technology is super cool. But yeah, if you're interested, if you have FSD, if you've had a bad experience with FSD, obviously drop it in the comments. I'm curious to know those experiences. But I would say if you're partially bought in on the aspect to do it, and give the feedback so that it'll be better for everybody. Right now we're doing 48 and a 50. Not too bad. I had somebody mention camera angles too. I've been trying to get better at getting the best visuals so that you all can see a real view of the cockpit. I know with a lot of folks who'll use GoPros, things like that, to like put on their head or put on their chest, put in their mouth even, and I won't say I'm not that committed. It's just that's not my thing. I tried, and I'll leave that up to the experts. So, but with that being said, out of all the Teslas, I would say the Model X and the Cybertruck with their front windshield, it does a great job at giving you so much visibility out of the front. I think X being the most. I know I've heard Cybertruck has some blind spots and things like that, but so much front windshield visibility that I can kind of mess around with angles if you'd like to see it a little bit higher, so you can see like the full kind of bird's eye view. We can do that. There's a few things. I may put a video together and kind of go through which ones look and suit the best, and we go from there. But again, this ride's pretty chill. I think my only call out, like I said, we're now speeding up a little bit more. We're doing 51 in a 50, and I don't know, I think driving a Tesla is fun, so I rarely drive it at speed limit, at least 3 to 4 miles over, depending on the situation. So, okay, so now here, that wasn't bad, but there was an initial kind of hesitant light tap of the brake that happened. And I think it, it recognized the green to yellow, and it's like, that's another area which I'm curious to know if That's improved on 12.5.6.3, I believe. I think that's the one that's currently rolled out to hardware for folks. And that hesitancy when the light is changing. Yeah, from green to yellow, I think in most cases, depending on the length, I'd like to just go through the light. But I also understand at the same time the risk, depending on the other side of the street, if someone's making a left, they decide to make a left last minute or try and beat me through the light, that's an accident, right? Or, you know, any other variable. So if at all, the right choice from when a light turns yellow from green would be to slow down and stop. I think it would have been better though if it wouldn't have hesitated. That initial kind of pause, it would have just turned into a full brake rather than pause, oh, let me go, and then no, let me actually stop, because I prefer not to, So right now we shot right up to the speed limit, which is 55. Car passed us, now we're going 56. I think a lot of folks mention off the line, especially if you're first at the light, it's going to take off, it's going to accelerate. I don't think it's aggressive. I think if you got a Tesla to drive it, that's how most folks are going to drive anyway. If you're coming off the line, you're going to, sometimes have some fun with it. So it's really not a problem to me that it gets up to the speed limit quickly. It really falls into what are you recognizing with the flow of traffic, If we see, 3 to 5 cars pass us, what do we think about that? What are we going to do? Are we going to speed up? Are we going to keep our same speed limit? Are we going to slow down? So there's a spot that I'm well aware of. I looked down for a little bit and it caught me, so it wanted me to nudge. There's a spot coming up that I usually get into another lane just because I know it can't handle it well. And keep in mind, I still have my sunglasses on. I don't have the vision on. The green dot is off. So at some point it's gonna have me nudge the steering wheel again. Okay, so now you can see it's back on. Attention monitoring active. So basically now it's looking at my eyes to determine if I'm paying attention. So you can do that, especially if you're doing FSD. It's consistently trying to it wants to get in this left lane, which naturally it's cool. It's just that they've done some construction over here, so the way it handles this left lane isn't good, because it's essentially in the left lane and then it just swerves over to this right lane, which isn't what you want. So I kind of intervene on there and tell it, hey, let's get into the right lane and follow that. So again, is there anyone that is an improvement? I think you can improve on that. But at the same time, I think the construction workers, how they laid things out, it did not make it easy. The first time I saw that, coming down this street, I did the exact same thing as FSD. I swerved. I was in the left lane and I just merged unannounced to the right, and it wasn't good. So, but overall, that's a quick drive. Hopefully, you all enjoyed that. I try and keep them short, definitely under 20 to 15 minutes. I respect everybody's time, so in the future I'll try to break clips down too, especially if I'm getting intervention, so that you all can kind of see that and fast forward to what you want to see. So that'll definitely be in the works, but continue to tune in, and we appreciate you. Have a good one.